Support for Steppin Out comes in part from the Kristovich family in honor of Mary Lou and Bill Kristovich. This program is sponsored in part by the Eugenie and Joseph Jones Family Foundation, a local foundation proud to support the arts and culture in the greater New Orleans area.
Good evening. I'm Peggy Scott Laborde, and welcome to Steppin Out, spotlighting the New Orleans area's arts and entertainment scene. Seated at our table tonight, opera singer, we're so glad she's back with us, Sarah Jane McMahon, here to tell us about her role in Carmen, which is for next week, and we'll also hear an excerpt from that performance. Welcome. We're glad you're here.
Thank you, Peggy.
Hello.
Happy to be here.
Oh, good. Poppy Tucker, host of the radio program Louisiana Eats, airing twice weekly on WWNO Radio. Hello, Miss Poppy.
Hi, Peggy. Hi.
Making his Steppin Out debut, Luke Fleming, artistic director of the Crescent City Chamber Music Festival. Show us your most beautiful viola.
My ex.
Gorgeous, gorgeous. Welcome. And of course, Alan Smason of Crescent City Jewish News and theatercriticism.com. But first up, Miss Poppy.
Well, Oprah's in the house. That's all I can tell you. This past week, one of Oprah's many projects, True Food Kitchen, opened up. This is the 29th True Food Kitchen. They're across the country. This is the first one in Louisiana. It's at the Julia at St. Charles, which geographically tells you just where it is. And it's really all about nutrient-dense, fresh food. It's not necessarily about calories, but the calories are all listed there. So if that's what you're worrying about, it's there. But the food is delicious. It's not like a health food restaurant. It's nothing like that. But listen to this yumminess and wait till you see the food pictures. They have salad in bowls with add-ons of protein, chicken, grass-fed beef, shrimp. I had the salmon on the chopped salad, which is dates, cranberries, jicama apple, manchego cheese, farro, Marcona almonds, and a champagne vinaigrette. It was really delicious. The seasonal salad is lovely. Then the bowls, there's an ancient grain bowl that has miso, sesame glaze, sweet potato, turmeric, charred onion, snow peas, grilled portobello, avocado, and hemp seed. There's pizza, but how about this pizza? Butternut squash pizza with caramelized onion, roasted garlic, kale, vegan almond ricotta. Okay, so you get what that is. Dried cranberries, and hemp seed. The unbeatable burger. I ate it. I loved it. It's beets, kuzu, jicama slaw, crushed avocado, butter lettuce, with a vegan mayonnaise on a flaxseed bun. And the textures, the flavors, it was really, really good. What surprised me was full bar. It's a nice restaurant. There's a full bar with craft cocktails, great beer and wine list, and then they have healthy refreshers. How about, this was divine, a sparkling antioxidant tea, which is organic green tea, pomegranate, and butterfly pea flower, which is what makes it that beautiful purple. You can order online to go or for pickup Monday through Thursday, 11 a.m. until 9 p.m. Open until 10 p.m. on Fridays. And then Saturday or Sunday, they serve brunch from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. It's delicious. The menus change a little bit seasonally. I've talked to a lot of people in the restaurant industry this week, and they all said, yum, true food, delicious. Anyway, speaking of brunch, great chef, one of my friends, Chef Eric Cook at Grigri, is now also serving brunch on Sundays from 11 a.m. until 5 p.m. And some of the yummy things on his menu include blueberry bourbon pan perdu. There's something called Go With The Flow, which is crispy oysters, cream spinach with a fried egg on top and hollandaise. Chicken biscuits and gravy like you've never had before, which are fried chicken thighs and cream biscuits and scrambled eggs with Griffin gravy. And he's really famous for his chicken gizzards. his chicken gizzard omelet with those sous vide chicken liver, the gizzards, and the brown gravy over the stone ground grits. This was really delicious. And a little spin on mimosas, bottomless mimosas, etc. They have cocktails by the carafe there too.
Oh,
so
happy that wraparound balcony on a beautiful day on Magazine Street.
It's fabulous. It's a great spot, and his food is wonderful. And then, Alan, I hate to do this to you, but it's time to talk about Wicked before you can bring it up. Because Gabrielle Restaurant did the same sort of shtick for Hamilton, and it's so adorable. Gabi, their daughter, who the restaurant's named for, is so clever. Wait until you see her graphics and listen to the menu. Look at how adorable that is. Okay, here's some of the menu items. We can have deep frying gravity, which is coconut beer battered shrimp.
Deep frying
gravity.
Yes,
That's great.
onion, and listen, Madame Morrible marmalade dipping sauce, and that's because everyone deserves the chance to fry. Then I told you it was punny. Then we have Ozdust wasabi peas, which is candied pecans, and Nessaro's ruby red cranberry cheese, because it's the most swankified plate in town. The gizzard and I love that is stuffed fried turkey tenderloin with duck dirty rice and ginger snap gravy, because that's how we dig in, the wizard and I. And I really love this one. What's this vealing? It's penne veal, burrata, red gravy, and garlic herb pasta, because I knew it the moment I laid eyes on Moo. Boom, boom, boom. Anyway, they're so close to the Sanger Theater. It's a great idea for a pre-theater meal. So make your reservations now, because everyone's going to have some of it the moment they lay eyes on Moo.
And it is so pleasant inside, too. It's really a pretty welcoming atmosphere.
Well, it's like the Soniers have invited you into their home.
Yes.
It's just wonderful.
Exactly.
That's where I spent my birthday this year. It was great.
Love it. Great. Thank you. And we turn to Sarah Jane. What a busy bee. I know you were, Argentina?
Yes, I was most recently there for 5 weeks singing Stella and Streetcar Named Desire at the Teatro Colón. It was amazing. The opera house was unlike anyone I've ever seen, and the acoustics were just unbelievable, just like everyone had told me.
Well, you get to be back home, but...
Yes, yes, I get to be back home, but it's pretty much in a whirlwind, but I like it that way. I love being busy. I'm singing Micaela and Carmen. Again, yes. I've sung it once before with New Orleans Opera, and that opens next Friday. October 4th, we have performances October 4th and October 6th. And then 2 weeks after that, I open Sound of Music with JPAS, and I'll be singing Maria in that, a role I've been dying to sing.
I was going to ask you if you ever played Maria.
No, and I always wanted to be Liesel, and I missed that opportunity. So I'm really happy that Maria has happened now.
Before we show an excerpt, though, from Carmen, tell us about one of the Von Trapp children.
Oh, well, of course, my favorite thing to talk about is that my daughter, Caroline, who's 5.5, will be one of the Gretels. She's double cast. All of the children are double cast, and they are all so fantastic. I've been so impressed with them, and Caroline has 3 of the 6 performances, and she's having a ball, and it's making me just so happy to watch her, through my eyes, remembering when I was that young performing.
Looking forward to it. Now, please set up this clip that we're about to see.
Sure. This is when Micaela is hiking through the mountains in search of Don José, and she sings this beautiful aria, Je dis, and she's praying to God, please protect me on this journey.
Yes. And now, let's see an excerpt from Bizet's Carmen with Sarah Jane. And once again, you can see Sarah Jane and Carmen. That's next Friday, October 4th at 7:30, and on Sunday, October the 6th at 2:30 p.m. at the Mahalia Jackson Theater. Go to neworleansopera.org for tickets. And we're so glad to once again welcome Julia Street, New Orleans Magazine's quiz queen, that is. And she has a question for us. Last time, Diane Wallen gave us the name of this classic restaurant on St. Louis Street and the names of the fish dish that involves a paper bag along with the dessert named after a state. Antoine's. The two dishes, of course, Pompano and Pompeyat, and Baked Alaska. Now tonight's question. The Gretna Vehicle Ferry stopped running on September 8th, 2009. What were the avenues at the New Orleans and Gretna sides of the route? Email your answers to steppinout@wyes.org. Our prizes: a year's subscription to Louisiana Life magazine and a pair of free admission passes to either the Audubon Zoo, Aquarium of the Americas, or the Butterfly Garden and Insectarium. The Audubon Institute, by the way, is kicking off their Music Under the Oaks concert series. That's this Sunday, September 29th, with the LPO Brass Quintet, from 5 to 6:30 p.m. at Newman Bandstand, and it's presented by Bellwether Technology. The concert series will continue at Newman Bandstand the following two Sundays, October 6th and 13th. You can go to wyes.org/steppinout for our online calendar, including the Gretna Heritage Festival, which encompasses 25 city blocks and takes place through this Sunday. Tickets start at just $20. Go to gretnafest.com for a full lineup of information. You can link to WYES's YouTube channel to see our programs. And now Luke. Luke, how many years? Crescent City Chamber Fest.
Well, this will be our 4th season.
Congratulations.
Thank you, thank you.
Now, it's very compact, okay?
Yeah.
Starting next week, next Thursday.
That's
and
right.
Tell us about what we can expect.
Well, we started in 2016 doing 3 free public concerts. This year we're doing 6. And started doing 15 outreach performances. This year we're doing, I think 34 is the count now. I still have a few more coming in as I prepare for it. But the idea behind the festival is always to offer free chamber music concerts here in New Orleans, and also to bring the music that we play in those concerts to nursing homes, hospitals, retirement communities, schools, and homeless shelters, and other helping organizations in the city, and perform all over the city, all over the area, West Bank, Kenner, but also New Orleans proper, and bring this music to all kinds of people in walks of life.
Now, you're actually bringing in nationally known chamber groups.
Oh yes, well I'm the artistic director. I'm a New Orleans native, but I'm the artistic director of a group in New York called Manhattan Chamber Players, which is mostly people I came up in the music world playing with. A lot of them are Juilliard alums like myself, or from other schools like Curtis or New England Conservatory. And it's a group that I formed back in 2015. And when I decided that I was going to make this festival, which I dreamed about for a long time, become a reality, there I had my pool of artists to bring for the first year. And since then, we've started inviting other groups. We've had the Dover Quartet. Next year, we'll have the Escher Quartet, these great string quartets. And this year, we're having the Lysander Piano Trio and a crossover group called Sonic Escape. So it's really exciting, the caliber of artists we've been able to bring in and how the festival's expanded in 4 years.
And you have an opening gala coming up this week.
That's right, on Thursday this week at New Orleans Record Press, and there's a bit of an interesting story there. It's an odd venue for a classical music concert, but at a concert we did at St. Charles Avenue Presbyterian last year, a guy came up to me after the concert and he said, "Hi, I'm Dan, and I want to press a record for you." And I was like an LP, and he said yes, and he said, "You guys are great. Send me some of your best live performances, and we'll make an LP out of it." And sure enough, he did. And so our opening night event's going to be a BYOB album release, and of course people can purchase the album there and has some of our best live performances, but they can also relax with a drink and listen to a concert. It'll be some classical, but a lot of crossover from Sonic Escape.
Now, I can't help but notice you have a very beautiful musical
Yes.
instrument out there. Tell us about this.
Okay, well, this is a modern viola. Actually, it's not one of those instruments that's 400 years old, but it was
there you go.
built in 1993 by a female maker, actually, which is fairly uncommon in the instrument-making business, but her name was Carlene Hutchins. She lived to the ripe old age of 98, making instruments all the way till the end. And she made this one in 1993, and she died in 2008.
Oh my goodness. Well, look, we're going to show an excerpt from one of last year's performances, and this one's, I think, at Kingsley House Senior Citizen Center. Tell us what we're going to see.
That's right. So what you're going to see isn't what we do for the free public concerts, which is open to the public, and they're kind of more formal classical concerts for the most part. For the outreach concerts, they're a lot more impromptu. We interact with the residents a lot, and you're going to see a performance of a piece we did with a guest artist we had last year who plays the bandoneon, which is a Argentinian squeeze box. A piece that he composed.
And now here's a taste of that concert at Kingsley House Senior Citizen Center. Let's take a look. And once again, this year's festival takes place from October the 3rd through 13th for free at various locations. Go to their website, of course, CrescentCityChamberMusicFestival.com, for a full lineup of all these great free events and public concerts as well. And now it is time for our Artist Spotlight. Tonight we are highlighting the exhibit Celebration, which features new works by Hilario, James Strombatny, and other artists, as well as select African works of art to celebrate M Contemporaries Gallery's first year on Julia Street. This is Creamsicle Butterflies by Deborah Mansfield. It's beautiful. George Alexander's Atomic Pomegranate. and also here's Al Carnival Time Johnson. Oh, we love Al Johnson by Fredrick, yes. M Contemporary is located at 612 Julia Street, and the exhibit runs through Friday, October the 4th. Visit mcontemporary.com for more information. And now, Alan.
Well, I wanted to start up with some sad news. The passing of Lee Harris, better known as Little Queenie. Lee and I were very close. She was very much, I think, almost like a sister to me. Our paths, I think, were predestined to cross. I first met her when she was not a redhead, but a blonde, an inquisitive pixie who had a zest for living and an infectious smile. There was never really anything that got in Lee's way of having a good time. And that could be said when she was on stage performing, as well as with the cream of New Orleans talent, or when she was just taking in someone else and dancing her heart out and capturing my soul. Much has been written about her voice and her ability to get raw and deep emotion into the blues. But, at other times she was playful and coquettish. She had this amazing voice, and she learned, if you will, at the hands of some of the great tutors. She played with Johnny Magny, Josh Paxton on piano, Tommy Malone, Alan Toussaint, Irma Thomas. These are people she learned from. And, of course, the Radiators, her contemporaries, Becky Curry, Lee, or she later became known as Lil Queenie when she fronted for the Percolators, soaked up all that they had to offer her, and then she gave it back and more in spades. She'll be forever memorialized on celluloid when she was in 8 Men Out, the John Sayles film. She played a singer. And, of course, those of us who knew her before Hurricane Katrina, she was, if you will, blown away by the storm. She lost everything for the most part for her house, etc., and she relocated to North Carolina and remarried there. But she always expressed her great love for New Orleans, or as she would say, her darling New Orleans. And we will all really miss her. She, I can only say, is a great loss to this New Orleans community, and the world will be a far less interesting place without her.
Alan, before you move on to the theater, we actually have a very rare clip from a Steppin Out from, we think about circa 1986, 87, where Lee and her first husband, Bruce McDonald, are playing at Parkview Tavern. Right there in Carrollton. They don't do live music there anymore. And she's talking about like the current state of affairs in terms of her music, and they're about to once again go back to New York. Let's take a look at this clip.
on Mardi Gras, we went to New York and played. It was the first time that the two of us had gone there and played together. And that was a good shot, you know, because, not because it was going to make us famous or anything, but we're out of here. And we see that people up there go nuts over this stuff. Come back here and do it, and they go.
When I got the call to come to New York, we had a band called Little Queenie and the Boys of Joy, and that band was doing a lot of Afro-Caribbean music, ska and soca and stuff like that. And when I got this call to go to New York, I told Bruce, I said, listen, we're going to go up there and do R&B. I'm not going to try anymore to fix something that was never broke, because, you know, they won't stand for it, for one thing, and I've been standing for it for too long.
And once again, our special thanks to Ralph Adamo on that. And back to Alan.
So, well, over at the National World War II Museum and BB Stage Door Canteen, it's the final week for the show of the first of a series of songbook shows. This one is all about Cole Porter. This was directed by Banu Gibson. It's all about Cole Porter, and it's led by former Victory Belle Mandy Mueller, a cast of 5. And it's also led by, believe it or not, the 2019 Stage Door Idol winner, Brittany Williams, who proves that she is more than just a one-hit wonder. Also starring Bailey Gabrish as a third female, and there are 2 males who sing and dance their way into everyone's hearts too, Josiah Rogers and Jake McCoy. They advance the plot. The idea of this is that it takes place on the day in 1964, October 15th, when Cole Porter dies, and they have an hour and a half, just conveniently the same time length as the show, to be able to do an obituary. And they use the premise of researching his obituary to have all these wonderful songs, Night and Day, Anything Goes, You're the Top, From This Moment On, It's Still Lovely, I've Got You Under My Skin. Well, some of the soundtrack is pre-recorded. The cast, nevertheless, does an amazing job singing. And I have to say, hats off to Harry Marone Jr., who was, of course, on the piano and does the accompaniment.
Playing the entire time.
Also does the co-musical director duties. And again, Banu is also a co-music director. Shouts out to Julie Wynn for the costumes. Now, that show is ending. However, there is a show that is still going on very much at the World War II Museum. And, of course, that is the Victory Belle's show that they're doing, which is the songs that won the war. This is all the music, if you will, that stars Hannah Rochelle, Skylan Roussel, and Jessica Gordon, and all of the songs from the British, such as the Lambeth Walk and the Vera Lynn songs. You know, she's still alive at 102. Things like the White Cliffs of Dover, Lily Marlene, that you'll remember. And then some of the songs that were really popular in this country, such as Begin the Begee and Sentimental Journey as time goes by. There is a terrific little gem called Milkman, Keep Those Bottles Quiet, that I just loved, and it's called out by the lady factory workers who are getting home. Again, don't miss Hannah, Skylan, and Jessica, 3 Victory Bells. They've got a lot of appeal, if you will. Now, we also learned of 2 items that I wanted to make sure about the Sanger. We have the opening of Wicked, of course, on Wednesday, and each day there will be a limited number of lottery seats that will be available. Keep that in mind. They're $25, but only 2 per entry. 2.5 hours per each show. You get a chance to enter it. It's similar to what they did with Hamilton. Let me just advise everybody, however, Wicked did set a box office record prior to Hamilton. Possible that it'll be back there. And also, it was just announced that Moulin Rouge, the musical, will be opening here in 2020. That's November 2020. Right. That's a fabulous opening for us.
Now, time for our picks of the week. Sarah Jane.
I'm already looking towards Christmas. I'll be singing with Lyrica Baroque. We have our annual Christmas concert the week before Christmas.
Great. Poppy.
It's that time again for the season of good taste, of course, benefiting WYES. Tickets go on sale 8 a.m. Tuesday, October 1st. So be at your computers and ready to go.
All right, Luke.
Well, as I said, we have 6 free public concerts. This will be the second of those. It's next Friday, October 4th, 7:30 p.m. with a 7 p.m. pre-concert talk. St. Charles Avenue Presbyterian Church. It'll be the Lysander Piano Trio and members of the Manhattan Chamber Players.
All right, great. Thank you. Alan.
Well, over at the Timothy K. Baker Theater, which is not far from where we are right now, we are going to have Moliere's Tartuffe. Again, those of you who have ever been to Delgado know the great work that they do over there. And again, I want to tell everybody about it, because it's not often that you get to see a French comedy.
All right, and now time for my picks. Gleason Graw will take place, that's tomorrow, at Championship Square, and that is starting at 5 p.m. The square will be filled with live music, silent auction, costume contests, food trucks, all kinds of great stuff. Suggested donation of $10 for admission, and VIP tickets are also available. The event, of course, is there to raise awareness for ALS and benefiting the Team Gleason Foundation. Go to champion-square.com for more info. Joseph McGill's nationally acclaimed organization, the Slave Dwelling Project, visits New Orleans for the first time at the Beauregard Kai's house. That's tomorrow, and that's at 2 p.m. McGill, along with a group of panelists, that is, will discuss the history of slavery nationally and locally in rural and urban environments, and actually how house museums and historic sites can depict, of course, this story and carry it forth responsibly. Go to Beauregard Kai's house for more information on that. Tickets are $10. And then also the CANO, the Cultural Alliance of New Orleans, exhibit traditional American and Afro-Caribbean-inspired quilts is ending soon. Monday's the last day, September 30th, at the Myrtle Banks Building at 1307 Aretha Castle Haley Boulevard. That's on the 3rd floor from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. The exhibit showcases over 24 traditional and innovative quilts of local New Orleans quilters. Go to cano-la.org for more info. The 7th annual Greenway Soiree takes place next Friday, October 4th, from 6 to 11 p.m. That's at the new Cellar venue on St. Louis Street. It's along the Greenway. Food, drink, musical entertainment for an evening of celebration. Proceeds supporting the Friends of Lafitte Greenway, and looking forward to making that even stronger. It's a wonderful place to begin with, and we appreciate all the effort there in that space. You can go to their website for more information on that. And now we leave you, and we're very excited, with an excerpt of Little Queenie singing If Ever I Cease to Love. This is from her CD, the last CD, a compilation CD called Purple Heart. Thank you very much for watching. Thank you all.
And Happy
Good
New
night.
Year.
And Happy New Year. And happy, right, Jewish New Year.
In a house, in a square, in a quadrant, in a street, in a lane, in a road. Turn to the left, on the right hand, you'll find there my true love's abode. I'll go a-courtin' and a cooing to my love like a dove.
This program is sponsored in part by the Eugenie and Joseph Jones Family Foundation, a local foundation proud to support the arts and culture in the greater New Orleans area. Support for Steppin Out comes in part from the Kristovich family in honor of Mary Lou and Bill Kristovich.